There you go.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
How we sounding? Get some of that excess.
Where can they get that,
Sponsored.
son?
Hey, hit your boy up directly.
Look, I was gonna say, let the crowd go away, and then tell them
Yeah.
about it.
We'll let y'all know. We'll hit you
Yeah,
on
let
game.
them know as soon as they. Yeah, come on in. If you're
Come on,
dragging a
come on
little
in.
bit, you might need a little pick me up.
I mean, a
Show
little
them
pick
what
me
they
up.
can. Show them what they can get. D.
Man, hit your boy up for that excess. This is hey, whether you're on the go, working out, or doing a podcast, get you excess, get you some natural energy. Right here, that's that mango pineapple guava.
My favorite. My
Strictly,
favorite. I get the caffeine. He sometimes drinks the caffeine free, but
this is caffeine free with vitamins, but I do got the ones with the caffeine too as
I
well.
drink the ones with caffeine, and they rival Red Bull. All the rest of them taste great. Like I
Tastes
told
great.
them, I could drink them, just keep downing them. But if I do
Casual.
the caffeine ones, more than one, I'll be running through a brick wall. But
I'll be running and ready to go.
man, I'll be podcasting all day. You can't get me off the mic. Coming to you live from the Sit Your Ass Down studios. Welcome to the Me and D
Pops and Son.
podcast.
For that ass.
For that ass.
For that ass.
For that ass. No,
No
didn't.
diddy.
Today is November 29th, 2024. We got a lot to chop up,
A
man. I
lot to
got a
chop
list
up.
full of stuff. There's so much I left out. I'm just like, damn. We got a complete show for you all tonight. Rest in peace to Chuck Woolery, game show host. He was the original host of the Wheel of Fortune. You also would have seen him on Love Connection. Former Braves outfielder Rico Cardi
Rico.
won the National League batting champion back in the 70s. Great player. Daytime actress Helen Gallagher. Miss Helen Gallagher passed away. Rest in peace. And the actor Earl Holliman. If you all were born
Earl.
about when I was born, you would remember him from Policewoman back in the 70s. Great show. Great show. So rest in peace to those folks.
Mm-hmm.
And then on to some birthdays. December the 1st is when we were talking about, which is Sunday. We always talk about birthdays on the day that we release the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
To Larry Walker, a baseball Hall of Famer, right fielder. He was a National League MVP back in 1997, won an NL batting championship in 1998, 99, 2001.
Okay.
5-time All-Star, 7-time Gold Glover. Played for the Expos, Colorado Rockies, and they failed to mention that he also played for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Okay. So, don't forget the hometown team.
Hometown team.
Hometown team.
Baseball player Reggie Sanders. He also played for the Cardinals back in the day. Also played for your Braves, D.
Okay.
Anyway, he was an All-Star in 1995. Won a World Series championship in 2001 with the Cincinnati Reds. Happy birthday to him. To Todd Stussy. Todd Stussy. Pro Bowl guard for the Minnesota Vikings. And to Deshaun Jackson. Action Jackson.
Flashing
he was an all-pro wide receiver for the Eagles.
Okay.
Played for a few teams, but they only listed the Eagles here, which I'm surprised.
That's the only team he was really.
That's the team he was known for.
There's the team he was known for. He really made an impact for those Eagles. The rest of the teams,
remember when Mike Vick made his comeback, and I can still see on that Monday night when Mike Vick dropped back with that easy throw. That little flick of the wrist, I can't remember, 70, 80 yards.
Like, 70, 80 yards. First play of the game.
I think it was the first play of the game.
Right out of
I know
jail.
it was in that first series.
My boy Mike Vick, first play out the game against the Redskins.
Somebody got torched.
He got torched. Deshaun Jackson hit him with a deep post.
But I'm saying he torched somebody.
Oh yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Whoever it was. He got torched. I forgot
who it was. He got torched for sure.
I forgot who it was, but he got torched.
Great play.
I can still see that play in my mind right now.
Flick of the wrist.
Wrapping up the birthdays, Javi Baez.
Oh, Javi. We talked about Javi.
We did talk about him a few weeks ago because he was released by the Detroit Tigers.
Yep.
And then subsequently they went on a winning streak. But he got a nice payday from them. He did win a world championship with the Cubs. So happy birthday to Javi.
Okay,
born
go
in
ahead.
Puerto Rico, so he's back down there probably spending his money, living like a gazillionaire. Because you can
Like
go,
that, he the king.
because you can go down there and live large with
money
not much in
flipping.
your pocket. All right, and then history on December 1st, sports history, 1991, reigning U.S. Open champion Payne Stewart wins only one hole, but he claims the skins game at La Quinta and sets the record in the process. He hit a 3-foot birdie putt on the 14th hole,
Birdie.
won 8 skins and $260,000, which at that time was the record for most money won on one hole. In 1993, St. Louis Blues Bob Berry coaches his 800th career game in a 4-2 loss to the Maple Leafs in Toronto. He also coached for the LA Kings, Montreal Canadiens, and the Pittsburgh Penguins. And on this day in 2018, British boxer Tyson Fury dominates much of the fight, but survived 2 knockdowns to force a split decision draw with defending WBC heavyweight champion Deontay Wilder.
That was a good fight.
That was a good fight. I remember that one. That second fight wasn't
the last
so much.
The last two, the follow up and the trilogy. The third one was
that
was all Tyson Fury.
All Tyson Fury. Even in that one where I can still see Deontay Wilder holding the ropes and he was just beating them all around the ring.
Yeah, Wilder was not the same after that. He got torched. And it was a wrap for him.
On this day in 2019, British Mercedes driver Lewis Hamilton wins the season-ending
Abu Dhabi
Grand Prix to claim his 6th Formula One World Drivers' Championship by 87 points. So those are rest in pieces, birthdays, and a little bit of history for you. It's not a taco.
It's not a burrito.
It's not a sandwich.
It's not a panini.
It's not a pizza. It's a wrap. We saw this one coming. It played out over the last few weeks right in front of our very eyes. Matt Eberflus.
It was just bound to happen.
Chicago Bears head coach.
It was inevitable.
When you start losing coordinators to save yourself, at some point, you're going to be the next one on the list.
They chopping heads.
Especially if things don't get turned around.
Right.
Eberflus was 14-32, D, in his time as a head coach of the Chicago Bears.
I was surprised, man. Dang.
They shouldn't even brought him back, though. That's my whole point.
14 and what? 32?
14-32.
Dang.
They should even brought him back.
That's an Eberfluke.
He got flossed.
Right.
Eberflus was flossed. But I wouldn't have brought him back after last season, especially knowing I had that number 1 pick. You needed a coach that could come in. Eberflus was the lame duck coach because we knew if he didn't turn things around,
lame duck,
he was going to be gone. And he is gone. But what ultimately did him in? He had 36 seconds on the clock. This is on Thanksgiving Day yesterday.
Talk about it.
36 seconds on the clock. He had one timeout left, and he was on the Detroit Lions side of the field. He was in their territory, and he let 20 seconds run off the clock after the quarterback got sacked. And you went home with a timeout in your pocket.
With a whole timeout.
A whole timeout. Jimmy Johnson, legendary coach, he said with that much time on the clock and a timeout, he could have got 4 plays off. And he's right.
And he's right.
If
you really did it, if you really do it correctly, how you going to let 20 seconds run off?
You go 3 plays to the sideline, get out of bounds, quick little plays to the sideline, get out of bounds, save that timeout for your field goal, because you could have clocked one of them.
Oh, easy right then and there.
Yeah.
Right after the sack or something.
Yeah, right after the sack, clock one, and then get everybody in line. And we'll say this timeout for then, or use the timeout, get that pass, get out of bounds, and then set up for your kicking team to kick the game time field goal.
Yep.
You had a chance to take down the Detroit Lions, who are the hottest team in football right now, and you gave them the game.
Yep. Because you left them, they left you hanging around that whole game. They weren't getting touchdowns. They were getting field goals. They get a fumble from Jahmyr Gibbs. You get a long touchdown pass to DJ Moore. You're within 3. You get another stop. Now you got the ball.
You
I mean,
got all.
this was setting up to where
Oh,
it was.
Eberflus could have been a hero. This
could have
might
been
have
a
been
hero.
something to get him
Save
going
his
and save
job.
his job.
This would have saved your job beating the Detroit Lions, your division rival, and you just said the hottest team in football right now.
And it was a standalone game at the time. Everybody was watching you.
Stand alone.
Stand alone.
Hey, stand
Stand
alone.
alone.
Hey, this is your standalone game.
That was the standalone game. You're kicking off Thanksgiving Day.
Alone.
Folks still cooking, got the TV on, starting to gather, starting to get hungry. We got that first game, and man, you wet the bed.
Not Sylvester Stallone. You had the
standalone.
Yeah,
it's crazy though.
It's a wrap. I mean, we could see
We've been saying it over the weeks, especially on the wrap-up show.
Especially on the wrap-up show. Check out the Monday Night Wrap-Up Show.
One of our other podcasts.
AM and the
PM, CC, the kid.
The kid.
Check us out. Released either Wednesday or no later than every Thursday before kickoff. But yeah, that was just, man, unacceptable. There you go. That's the word. The way he played that out, unacceptable.
And it's been rumors around that it's been the coaching in Chicago what's really been holding them back. Justin Fields had mentioned that. And then
he did kind of mention that in passing, didn't he?
In passing, mentioned, hey, the coaching there is not, then it's not supporting. And then you can see it. They were in plenty of games they could have won. They got the talent. The defense plays hard. They could be 8 wins right now already. They could already have 7-8 wins right now.
I agree with you, D. But they should be challenging Detroit and Green Bay.
They should be in the top
for a spot in that NFC North. Because, like you say, they put talent around them, around Caleb Williams, the number 1 pick. That offensive line sucks. They're going to need some help there.
Yeah, that offensive line is pretty bad. Caleb be running for his life.
Looks up, they're back there on him now. He does tend to hold the ball too long, pause. But a lot of times he looks up and they're already in the backfield.
Right. Sometimes he can't even really help it. He's damn, I just got the snap.
Remind me of Shador.
Yep.
When he gets a snap, they're already in that backfield.
Yeah, I'm sure he's ready to go to the league.
Yeah, he's ready. But yeah, Matt Eberflus, it's a wrap.
It's a wrap, man. It's a wrap.
Today is Black Friday. A lot of good football took place. And for most teams and most conferences, this is your last game before your championship, your conference championship.
Your conference championship, yep.
Some Heisman hopefuls on display today. Ashton Jeanty and Boise State improved to 11-1. They beat Oregon State 34-18. Jeanty rushed 37 times for 226 yards and a touchdown.
Man.
And then Travis Hunter and the Colorado Buffaloes improved to 9-3 with a 52-0 whitewash over Oklahoma State. Hunter had 10 receptions for 116 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Senior night, senior day. Didn't even let up on him. Didn't even play around with him. Paul.
He didn't play at all. That whole none of the team played.
None of the team.
They came to play.
That's good for the Colorado Buffs, man. Wait, what a turnaround in just that one season. In 2 years, the Deion turned that program into a top bowl contender. The hype is around Colorado, and he's continuing to get good recruits there.
I saw T.O. on the sidelines today.
Come on now.
He was there. They're going to continue to draw the stars.
Oh, absolutely.
To their sideline. Now, as I said, they're Heisman hopefuls. What's going to hurt each of them in the voting? Jeanty's rushing against teams in the Mountain West, where your 2 best competitors are Colorado State and UNLV. That's not top notch.
Ain't no competition.
Ain't no competition. Now, he has 2,026 yards rushing and 28 touchdowns. And then on the other hand, for Travis Hunter, what might hurt him is he's not, to me, the best receiver on his own team.
Right.
LaJohntay Wester, he was targeted 11 times a day, had 11 receptions for 175 yards. and 2 touchdowns.
Right.
That young dude is rough.
No, he isn't. No, he's a legit receiver. I think for Travis Hunter, he'll probably just get the Heisman because, of course, just athlete.
And because he's playing both sides
he's
of the
playing
ball.
both sides of the ball.
Yeah,
Almost
I don't
like
have his
what
defensive numbers handy, but
he had a pick today for sure. I know that.
yeah, he
That was
did
like
have a pick, didn't he?
had a pick today.
You know what? Nah, it's worth putting it in. We need to know that because I think that's going to factor in him actually winning the Heisman if he's able to upset Dylan Gabriel for Oregon. Now, what Gabriel has on his side is the fact that they're undefeated and they've been the number 1 team for the last few weeks. The odds makers got Travis as the leader in the clubhouse. He's at minus 10,000 per FanDuel, and Boise State's Ashton Genty's at plus 3,000. So it's his to lose, but he is the only one that's playing on both sides of the ball, playing good defense. And yeah, so anyway, those two, like I say, were on display today. Let me see when Oregon plays again.
Okay, here we go. Okay, here we got some stuff. It says offensively, he has 92 catches for over 1,000 yards, 14 touchdowns, two rushes for 5 yards and 1 touchdown. Defensively, he has 31 tackles, 11 passes deflected, 4 interceptions, and 1 forced fumble.
What's the date on that?
That's from Yahoo Sports. It should be updated from today. Let's see. Let's look at Hunter's stats this season, with his most recent game included.
Does it have a time on it, like a time stamp?
From 6 hours ago.
Okay. So there you go. So that's up to date then. And then Gabriel's stats coming into I don't know who their next game is.
Yeah, this is from six hours ago.
Yeah, so that was that's been 2
game.
o'clock, 3 almost 3 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
So they had already played. That game was over by then. So okay. Dylan Gabriel, 22 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 3,066 yards. So that's not lighting the world on fire. Like I said, what may help him is the fact that they're undefeated and they're the number 1 team.
I think as far as Heisman go, it should either be Genty or Travis to me.
I agree. Like I said, Gabriel's numbers aren't all that eye-popping.
Right.
Nothing to just make you say, damn, he's just lighting it up. 34,000 yards, 35 touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
Something crazy where his team is literally on his back, and he got some rushing touchdowns and some rush. Like he can do it both. If it was like a Tim Tebow, Cam Newton,
and just really dominating week in, week out.
Yeah, he's just a highlight reel too as well. You're constantly talking about him. He's literally selling the program just solely off his name. Oh, I got to see him.
He's must-see TV.
Yeah, I must see him watch. I think Genty for Boise State, what they're doing for that program, even though they are playing in weaker conferences, you would like to see those numbers always against SEC, Big Ten caliber, but that's not the case. So for what it is right now, those two are the favorites. I guess my vote, I could go either way. Genty's, what he's done at Boise State is amazing. The amount of carries he is getting, he is the focal point on that offense. Now, I do think as far as Travis Hunter goes, him just being an overall athlete, playing both sides of the football, and making an impact on both sides of the football, I think that gives him a slight edge. So I would give him a little bit edge over Genty, and just the aspect of Colorado is stacked full of just players. You got Shiloh, you got Shedeur. Man, you do got some good talent.
I don't even know what happened to Jimmy Horn Jr. I don't know if he's injured or.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
I haven't seen him in a few weeks.
But I'll probably give it to Travis.
I give it to Travis just because he's averaging 120 snaps per game. Nobody else is doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a key piece on both sides of the ball.
Both sides of the ball.
And he's excelling on both sides of the ball.
Correct.
It's not like he slacks on one side or the other. No, he's dominating on both sides. So that's where I give him the edge over Genty and Dylan Gabriel. So it remains to be seen. And now, while we're on the subject of Colorado and Deion and his team, they make it into our Wait, What Happened segment.
Wait, what happened?
So if you listen to Colorado coach Deion Sanders earlier in the week, you would have thought that his players are being snubbed for any 2024 awards. And then I was ready to come on here and ripped the writers and the voters and the committees for not nominating him. And then I went back and studied a little bit, and I found out that's not right. So Travis Hunter is a finalist for not only Defensive Player of the Year, which is the Chuck Bednarik Award. He's up for Outstanding Receiver, which is the Fred Biletnikoff Award. And he's up for the Player of the Year, which is the Maxwell Award. And then Shedeur Sanders is a finalist for the Davey O'Brien Quarterback of the Year Award for the best QB. So I know he was railing on some of the writers for not nominating Travis for the Jim Thorpe Award, which is for the top defensive back in the country. Yeah, that's what he was upset about. But in doing so, he made it seem like his players weren't really being looked at for any awards, and they are. I just named them.
Right.
They're being considered for top awards. Travis is the Heisman candidate, is what I'm trying to say. So to me, would I rather win the Heisman or would I rather win the Jim Thorpe Award? I'd rather win the Heisman than the Jim Thorpe Award.
Oh, absolutely. Jim Thorpe is a good.
He was a great athlete.
Great athlete. Good. Highlights a top athlete of the collegiately. But yeah, that Heisman, being in the Heisman conversation in that room along with all those great names. Yeah, I think that having that hardware in your house is maybe just a little bit more than Jim Thorpe. But don't get me wrong, Jim Thorpe Award would be just being recognized in general is great. But yeah, it's all about that. You don't do the Jim Thorpe pose. You do the Heisman pose. I don't even know the Jim Thorpe pose.
And I didn't know. I didn't remember that Deion had won the Jim Thorpe Award, but I can tell you some of the last few Heisman winners.
Right.
That's a little bit more meaningful.
Go back and name the Jim Thorpe winners. I can't do it. And I like the Heismans.
Right. Reggie Bush wasn't trying to get his Jim Thorpe award.
I wasn't trying to sell my Jim Thorpe award.
He was trying to get his Heisman back.
Right. I'm gonna sell this Heisman. Then I give it to Jim Thorpe.
How about I give you the Jim Thorpe back and you give me my Heisman back?
Not even trade.
You know, there's apples and oranges. He was an offensive player, but you all get what we're saying. The Heisman Trophy means a little bit more in the collegiate realm than the Jim Thorpe Award.
The Thorpe.
Now, we're not poo-pooing the Jim Thorpe Award, but the Heisman is the ultimate trophy in college sports football. So they thought it was a wrap, D.
They thought it was a
wrap. So LSU was all prepared to welcome quarterback high school phenom Bryce Underwood to campus next fall, but not so fast. Tiger breath.
Damn, Tiger breath.
Michigan, with the help of Tom Brady, Larry Ellison, who was one of the richest men in the United States, worth about $240 billion with a B.
$240 billion?
Yeah, that's his net worth. They offered Mr. Underwood $12 million NIL money to stay at home, and he's going to Michigan.
This is NIL, crazy.
Isn't that crazy, D?
But that's good though. Honestly, for real, it's great for players coming into today's game now. I feel bad for all the other players who got in trouble, who didn't even get a lick of none of that, who had to go play somewhere else and would have loved to stay at their hometown.
Or people had to give your auntie the money for you to give so you could have some extra spending money or buy a car and your uncle's name that ultimately went to you. You had to circumvent the process. Now you can stay at home like Mr. Underwood is doing.
Mr. Underwood.
You don't have to go all the way to LSU. You know, you can stay right home.
I'm at the crib.
I'm playing for my home state top team, the Michigan Wolverines. I'm born and raised playing in Detroit. Who don't want to stay home and play for the top team?
And get some M's while you're doing it.
Oh, my goodness. $12 million? You got some pros that don't make $12 million in their first few years.
They on the practice squad right now making $500,000 a year.
If they're making that. So, man, hats off to Bryce Underwood. Hats off to the Michigan alum who put it all together and kept that man in state. Like I said, Larry Ellison, Tom Brady called him up. Say, hey, we really want you to stay home.
That's tight. That's pretty tough. I'm not going to lie. That's pretty tight to where they're like, hey, we'll scoundrel up some money if you just go ahead and just play for Michigan.
Put our money where our mouths are.
we trying to get back to the national championship. We don't want to just be a one and done or just it's just every now and then, every blue moon. But yeah,
Or a
that's
blue blood program that's just
right.
getting ready to tank all of a sudden.
Exactly.
Stay home, man. You don't have to go all the way to Louisiana to get that money. And that's the other thing. LSU, you got outplayed in terms of the spending. You got outspent.
We can go ban for ban. We can go M for M.
You go round for round. They got you.
They got you.
You thought it was a wrap. No, sir. You got my attention, and
got
we're
my
talking about the
attention?
college football playoff
I thought he was on
rankings.
suspension.
Oregon still number 1. Ohio State's number 2. Texas State at 3. Penn State stayed at 4. Notre Dame jumped up 1 spot to number 5. Miami jumped up 2 spots to number 6. Georgia jumped up 3 spots to the 7th place. Tennessee jumped up 3 spots to 8th. SMU jumped up 4 spots to number 9. Indiana, with their loss, they dropped to number 10. Boise State is up 1 to number 11. And Clemson jumped up 5 spots to take the 12th spot. So these are your top 12 teams going into Saturday's play, which is November the 30th. And D, your Georgia Bulldogs, the thing I put is they have clinched a spot into the SEC championship. They will take on the winner of Texas and Texas A&M.
Okay.
Who play on the 30th. But they're playing right now. They got Georgia Tech. They always wrap
Georgia
up the
Tech
season
is
with
on
Georgia
that.
Tech. What's the score now, D?
It's still 17-0, Georgia Tech.
How
And it's
much
in
time
Athens.
left?
We're only in the third quarter with 11 minutes left, so it's plenty of time.
Plenty of time, but
It's plenty of time, but
this isn't a game you should be looking past, man.
why you effing around? Why you effing on this team when a team like this, especially Georgia Tech, they're rivals. Georgia Tech, don't get me wrong, they're 7-4, actually having a pretty good season this year, and they got some good players, good coaching. So this is going to be their Super Bowl. This is going to be their national championship. If they can disrupt, they would love nothing more than to send you home, and so you don't go to the playoffs and you're in the exact same spot that they are. We're just gonna play for a bowl game. That's
what, you know, I was gonna ask you prior to I did some digging in and saw that Georgia clinched a berth into the SEC championship, because I was gonna ask you, would you prefer that they were 7th and possibly not have to play that game just in case they lost? But now they have to win that game to get into the playoffs. They'll be guaranteed a berth, but you got to win that game. You can't lose.
It's gonna be. I'm wondering how it's gonna
only
play
because
out.
because remember, you win your conference championship.
Yeah,
so the conference champions get an automatic berth.
So the conference champions get an automatic berth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we gonna need it. We gonna need it because
you got to.
And I've said this. Even this is the offense we're playing. We're making a lot of silly mistakes, fumbling the ball. It just doesn't look like the same Georgia teams of the past years.
This is not a championship Georgia team.
I don't. Even if we get into the playoffs, I don't even really think we deserve it because we haven't really shown. We haven't really shown that we can play good football, that we can beat good teams. I mean, look right here. They're zooming in right now. We're in the goal. It looked like he about to fumble. He fumbled the ball. It looked like Georgia Tech about to get a forced fumble. So I don't know, man. This is going to be the second or third fumble of the game for Georgia. Carson Beck is underthrowing throws. I mean, it's 17-0 right now. We haven't they've been shutting us out for the whole first half and damn near the mid of the third quarter. So if you can't get up and be ready to beat a team, your rival,
your home state, almost your home.
It's in Georgia.
It's in Georgia.
It's in Athens.
Yeah. Oh, you're playing between the hedges and losing? So you gotta win out. You gotta win the championship.
You win this game and the championship game. In my eyes, this is
I agree.
All bad. It's all bad.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right, son. Moving on. Monday Night Football. The Ravens beat the Chargers 30-23.
The Harbaugh Bowl.
The Harbaugh Bowl, or the Har Bowl.
The Har Bowl.
That was a key loss for the Chargers in many ways because they lost J.K. Dobbins He's suffered a knee sprain, and
Ooh,
he's going to be out for a few weeks, but
we'll
that
take
helps
it.
you all
Yeah,
coming up
dude,
Sunday.
I don't
You,
wish no injury on nobody.
nobody, but the Chargers and Falcons, that gives you a little leg up,
Man, a little
literally,
leg up,
little leg up,
literally. But
literally a leg up.
man, it's in Atlanta. It's in the dome, so that does give it a little advantage. But man, we gotta beat a good team this year. Yet we haven't beaten a good team besides the Eagles. I mean, you can say what you want. You know, we beat the Bucks. That's a solid team. But I'm just talking about outside of our division, our
This is your
caliber.
signature game for the
Yes,
season.
if we can beat a well coached team like the Chargers, they're well coached, they play great defense. Offensively, they can score points. I mean, we've showed glimpses that we can go tit for tat. We've had some high scoring games, but it's got to be all 4 quarters. But we really need to win, especially to stay ahead for the Bucks, because they want to ruin our season as well. And as far as our chances to win in divisions, it's crucial, man. I love it this time of the year
Mm-hmm.
because especially with football, every game is important. But when it starts coming down to that December football, every game is must win. We got 5 weeks left. We have to at least go. We need to go 500 as far as the last 3-2. I don't want to go 2-3 these last 5 weeks.
And like you said, this is one of those teams that you have to beat to show that if you get into the playoffs, you can beat a winning squad.
Yes, correct.
Obviously, you're supposed to take care of business against the lesser teams, but you got to beat a couple of good teams too to build some momentum. But you're coming off a bye week. The Chargers just played Monday night, so that's in your favor. But they got to come out hot. They just can't let the Chargers. They just scored.
Mm-hmm.
They finally got on the board.
Finally got on the board.
A touchdown, though, right?
Touchdown, yeah. Touchdown to Oscar Delp.
Okay.
Tied in. I think he's a tight end for Georgia.
All right. They got time to turn it around.
Yeah, 17. And
Kirby Smart's going to have to kick Carson Beck up in the ass.
Alien looking. Look like a little, what do you say, a sugar alien.
He looks something, D. That one picture they show on ABC.
I wish we could show that here. So we're going to start doing that.
Yeah,
look at
funny. This one.
This one right here is what we're talking about.
In that game on Monday, just real quick, Derrick Henry had 24 attempts, 140 yards. Lamar Jackson, 170 yards, 2 touchdowns. And then we get into our Thanksgiving action. We already talked about the Lions against the Bears. Lions 23, Bears 20. Lions improved to 11-1. Bears dropped to 4-8.
Damn.
That's a game that they had. And like you said, Eberflus probably could have saved his saved his job, should I say.
Save face.
Caleb Williams threw for 3 touchdowns, 256 yards, most of it in the second half because they were getting dominated.
Yeah.
Early in the game, Jared Goff, 221 yards, 2 touchdowns. Amon-Ra, he had 5 receptions, 73 yards. David Montgomery, 21 attempts, 88 yards. Again, that was one of those games you're watching it in the background. It's 16-0.
In the background.
All they're going to do is dominate, them being the Lions. And here come the Bears, and there goes Eberflus. And then you move on. You had the Cowboys, 27, Giants, 20. That ended up being a nice game towards the end. All 3 games are pretty good. I take that back. Game. First 2 games were good.
Yeah, that Packers.
Last game in the snow. Dolphins can't play in cold weather. So once the season gets to December, January, February, you can count them out.
Dolphins out of there.
Unless they're 12-0, 13-0, you can count them out because they're not going to do much.
Yeah, so
they're done, son.
They're definitely done, son. Tua, go ahead, sit your ass down.
Yeah, he proved again he can't play in cold weather. The stats for both teams, mediocre. The only thing that stood out to me was Dowdle. 22 attempts, 112 yards, and a touchdown. Everybody else is just mediocre. Nothing really to write home about. And then in the nightcap, you had the Packers. 30, Dolphins 17. Dolphins dropped to 5-7. Packers improved to 9-3. Even though Tua threw for 365 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, he put up some yardage.
Again, it's just for nothing though.
It's empty calories.
Empty calories.
It's like, oh yeah,
burger.
Right. I had 10,000 calories a day when you drank like 20 sodas. You had no substance.
I, I had a great workout, did a million steps, but I ate McDonald's all day,
Right. You just
ate fast food
right.
all
It's
day
just
long.
empty calories. It was all for nothing. All for naught. He didn't add nothing to. Nothing nutritious.
And then the Black Friday game, the Chiefs
Closer game.
19, Raiders 17. That's another close game.
They always play tight. I don't care.
What is it about them though that they just can't dominate this year?
Who, Kansas City?
Yeah, Kansas City.
I don't think
They're just not the Kansas City of old. And like you said, every team gets up for them. Pause.
I think that's what it is. I
That's
think
their
that's what it
Super
is.
Bowl.
I think that's what it is. Every team really gets up for this game. We're going to be the team to beat the Chiefs. I think so. I think it's just well coaching defensively. The defensive coordinators do a good job trying
Scheming
to
and planning for 'em.
and planning too as well.
I did pick the Chiefs in that one. You picked the
Chiefs?
Raiders for the upset.
No, I picked the Chiefs.
No, you
I
came
went-
back to the
I
Chiefs.
came
You
back and
did.
picked the Chiefs.
You
I came
did.
back
You
and
sure
picked the
did. You
Chiefs.
talked yourself out of it.
I did. I definitely did. Corey stayed with the Raiders.
Yeah, that's who. Yeah, we'll have to
That's
bring
who
that
it-
up on the Monday night
You did.
wrap.
Yeah,
Real quick, we both took the Packers. We both took the Cowboys.
and we
I
took
think
the
we
Lions.
both took. Yeah, we picked the Lions. So we
Correct.
we're starting off 4-0 this
Starting
week.
off hot.
Damn, starting off hot. Aiden O'Connell almost did it because you said he always plays well.
He does.
340 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Beat him last year.
Yeah, he did. Pacheco came back for Kansas City, 7 attempts, 44 yards. I know me and Corey, we were going back and forth in the little chat line yesterday, but I'm telling you, down the stretch, this dude's going to make a difference like he did last year. He runs hard, gets those tough yards that Kansas City needs, and takes a little pressure off of Mahomes having to throw the ball.
Mm-hmm. And Hunt running the ball. Hunt's going to be like, you got different styles. Yeah, you got a 1-2 punch. You got someone who's like more of a gritty, dirtier runner, and then you got more of an explosive change of pace type of back who's also a hard runner too. You get different styles.
Mahomes threw for 300 plus yards and a touchdown. Sneaky good. DeAndre Hopkins, 90 yards receiving. I'm telling you, that dude's gonna make a difference down the stretch.
He's gonna catch a game-winning touchdown, and he's prepared for it already. He's already had it in his mind. He's already had it in his mind. That's the type of player he is.
No, he is, and he's done it before.
Mm-hmm.
NFL Game of the Week. D is at 325 game for me. He's at the Ravens.
Yes, sir. The Battle of the Birds. Those are two similar teams that play tough football, two hot teams, two teams that need to continue to win. But I
don't know if I call that the Super Bowl, a potential Super Bowl matchup.
I still think right now, if I had to call it,
I don't think the Ravens would get there.
Man,
I really don't.
I don't think they're good, but they've lost too many just games that they should have won.
Mm-hmm.
Along with, it's one thing if they were like Kansas City and if they're in winning close games, they were losing those games. You know what I'm saying? They're losing those games.
Kansas City figures out a way to win.
Exactly, and that's why I think Kansas City, of course, will be in the Super Bowl. Right now, I'm seeing KC Lions.
I agree.
That's easy to say, but I think we made that prediction earlier on. I think I said Kansas City.
Probably was like 6-0, 7-0.
I said Kansas City for sure being in there, but as of right now for the NFC, it looks like the Lions.
Both teams are 11-1.
Mm-hmm.
I know the Chiefs just improved to 11-1. Yep, both 11-1. They're the two best teams in the league.
But Ravens and Eagles, that's a fantastic game.
That's a fantastic matchup.
Saquon versus Henry, Hurts versus Lamar. Sirianni versus Harbaugh.
I think you get to see where your team is.
Really, against a real good team. A solid team.
Another playoff contender. Mm-hmm. You get to see.
Are we ready?
In that other league, do we have the talent to stack up against another top-notch team?
Yep.
So that's going to be interesting. I can't wait for it. I'm going to be there for it. A little something on the side. I don't know if you saw this one, D. And then a little off the beaten path. Kelsey Plum, who plays for the Las Vegas Aces.
Okay, Kelsey.
Has her own cigar line. She teamed up with Kingsmaker.
Okay.
And she started smoking cigars after they would win a championship. They won back-to-back championships. So Kingsmaker saw her with the cigars. they teamed up with her, and she's actually featuring her stogie at the Resorts World Hotel / Casino in Las Vegas. So she's showcasing it in the lounge. Obviously, you can buy them
into the bag
directly from the manufacturer, but yeah, she's got her own little signature lounge where you can smoke her cigar. I thought that was cool. That's different.
That's very different.
$4.3 billion resort.
Now, what I will say, be careful with those cigars. You're gonna walk around with some influenza, some walking pneumonia. Don't be inhaling them joints.
I don't
really mess with no cigars.
I don't mess with cigars, but I thought that was cool for that's only a female.
Oh yeah.
And she said she's getting to that bag. They said her investments have been great. I don't know what Darren Waller was thinking. I'm just gonna say that.
What? You gotta call it how it is, bro. I get it. At the end of the day, man, you got okay. See, it's you got a woman with some motion. You got a woman who's actually doing some stuff for herself. You can get all these different other women. Yes, they look nice, they're pretty Instagram models and stuff like that. But do they got motion? Are they about their business? Are they somebody? Are they a household name?
And they help elevate your status. Look your pocketbook.
Look at Travis Kelce. Like he's had some bad ones in the past, and I'm not gonna say Taylor Swift is the baddest one he's had. Look at her net worth. That's Taylor Swift. She making more money than you are. She's helping you with your finances. She upgrades you getting all these shows because of her.
Exactly.
So it's
your association with her has helped elevate your status.
Yes. So you didn't miss out on a huge opportunity, not only to make some money, but just to build something. Now because you just want to just dibble and dabble just with some ordinary.
Over some shorts.
When you could have had extraordinary.
You could have extraordinary.
But you was dabbling with some ordinary.
You big dummy.
Sit your ass down.
Man. Damn. They say she's in Vegas. Do you get into that bag?
It's money
she's
out
making
there.
All kind of deals.
She finna be
like
good.
You said, yeah, you might have some eye candy, but she got the candy shop.
But you might got some candy. She owns the shop.
Candy. She owns the shop.
She owns the shop.
Sit your ass down.
It's a difference. Know the difference. The difference, fellas. Know the difference.
Candy. That's a shirt.
Right. You dealing with the candy.
Damn the candy.
I want the candy shop.
I need the shop.
Fuck the candy.
F the candy.
I want the candy shop.
I want the candy shop. And then real quick,
layers, levels.
A wrap for former Blues head coach Drew Bannister. He was let go last week, just 22 games in. The shortest tenure in NHL history. So, Drew, you did a good job getting the Blues on the right track towards the end of last season. They started off strong, stumbled. Blues saw an opportunity to get a better coach, Jim Montgomery, and they made that change. Like I said, just 22 games in. So that's a little something on the side. Time for that juicy news.
Because if you don't know, now you know.
Young brother, young sister, young player, Dwight Howard, P. Diddy, Porter family, Cheetah. What you got for that juicy news, son?
That juicy news. So I got multiple stories. I don't even know if I should wait, but I'm just going ahead and write them off. So
just get them.
This also could have been a little something on the side. Now this is in the making right now, so I still have to do some checking around with this one. My due diligence with this one. But for the 2025 NBA All-Star Weekend, did you hear about Steph teaming up with Sabrina Ionescu, and it's going to be versus Clay and Caitlin Clark?
No, I didn't hear that.
Team versus team. So Steph
Nice.
and Sabrina versus Clay and Caitlin in a 3-point competition
Oh,
team up match.
I like that.
That's gonna be tight. That's
That
tough.
probably will be the highest viewed event of the whole weekend.
Come on now. Not only you got two top Sabrina Ionescu winning the championship, top 3-point shooter, went almost beat Steph last year. You got the young Caitlin Clark, rookie of the
The
year,
young phenom,
young
yep.
phenom, and then you got Steph versus Clay.
The
But
Splash
the
Brothers.
Splash Brothers going against each other on two different teams. Like,
And they say Steph is pretty salty that Clay left.
oh
They
yeah,
said that's the whole reason you see the resurgent in his game. He's out to prove, okay, I didn't need you, man.
right.
You needed me.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And it's definitely true.
Oh,
So
I didn't
yeah,
see that.
that's
So
juicy. I
so
like
that's
that.
juicy. So we're going to keep checking
It's
that one
almost
because
spicy.
it's spicy because there's a lot of layers in that one right there.
There's
There's a
some
lot of
layers to
storylines.
that one.
A lot of
Yeah.
storylines. Okay. Also in juicy news, you hear about Baker Mayfield is suing his father's company.
I was gonna bring that up for
Okay,
something
good.
on the side. Go ahead.
Good. So the suit alleges from 2018 to 2021, Camwood Capital Management Group transferred more than $12 million without his authorization. So the Tampa quarterback has filed a federal lawsuit against the financial firm owned by his father, James Mayfield, accusing the company of failing to pay back nearly $12 million taken without his authorization. Yeah,
It's
so
always family.
it's always the
It's
family.
the accountant, the attorney, or family member.
So let's see. So it was pretty much as father and son. And see, he lent him the money. The company was, I guess, they had a contract. He's Baker Mayfield. He's a quarterback for the Tampa Bay Bucks, helping out the father's financial firm, and they were just
He was
they were
getting
just
that. He was getting that progressive money.
yeah.
He had his
And
contract from Cleveland at the time. Now he didn't. He just got the new money, so they didn't
yeah,
get to that,
so
did
they
they?
didn't get to that yet, but they were just taking money from Baker without his authorization.
Right,
Just
going into his account.
just going into his account. And then was one thing is, okay, I'm lending you the money. Okay, but it's been 3 years. I ain't seen nothing come back yet, not even $1 million or okay, here's 3 million, I'll give you the rest. They
Right.
haven't received nothing back. And that $12 million,
Yeah, it don't matter who you are unless
it
you're a
don't matter who you are.
billionaire.
Angel
Yeah.
Carter said, I'll cut my granny off if we don't see eye to eye.
Hey,
so
sometimes you have to do that.
so that's where it gets a little bit blurred. And well, speaking of Kendrick, this is my last little topic. This was some petty stuff. This is just almost some just
Oh man, I already know.
you see Drake is
Drake, I'm
suing
done with
Kendrick
Drake.
Lamar and a Universal Music Group and Spotify for the song "They Not Like Us." So he's suing Universal Music Group and the streaming platform Spotify, pretty much saying that they were the catalyst for why the song was going out frequently, playing everywhere, because the song was a global sensation. Drake, I don't think you should just blame them because it was literally social
But you
media,
didn't
TikTok.
blame the man who roasted you.
Exactly. And this is hip hop, dog.
Right.
This is hip hop. This is straight between the gloves. This is in your arena. He got the best of you. He whooped you. So
He
just
beat you down to the
he beat you
concrete.
down to the concrete. So he's also suing Kendrick for defamation of character for him saying certified love boy, certified pedophile, and different other lyrics in there. So he's suing Kendrick and Universal Music Group and Spotify. So pretty much of just him losing the battle for the song "They Not Like Us," which is weak,
It's
weak,
very weak.
very weak.
It
But
makes you look weak, and it makes you look pitiful.
oh,
And it makes you look soft.
very
Like you
soft.
can't. He got to you so bad that
You
you
gotta take
want to
legal
sue
action.
the people who played the record. You got to sue everybody, every radio
Everybody.
station, every outlet, because this, like we talked about over the summer, that song was nonstop. You
That's
couldn't go an hour
anthem.
without hearing it somewhere being played. It was in rotation. And like I say, even when you hear it now, it's still the groove.
It's still the groove. It's still going. And now that he released this album too, that joint is fire. Kendrick Lamar's album is a nice album. It's a solid album, and he got some cuts on there. So, yeah, Drake, you have to sit
Turn
your
the
ass
TV
down.
off.
Turn the TV off. Turn his TV off. But yeah, I thought that was just very weak,
Yeah, it
cowardly,
is.
no backbone, slimy. Yeah. Drake,
Almost like an
uh,
itch.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Low key
Yeah,
itch.
high
I know what
key,
we
high
talking
key.
about.
Yeah, high key. It itch made.
Kind of itchy.
Yeah. You acting like a little itch. Just take your loss like a little man.
Right. Don't be no itch. All right.
Yeah.
So time for our pops, flops, and
Pops,
props.
flops, and props.
All right. Pops,
Pop,
flops, and
flops, and
props.
props.
Who you popping? Who you popping?
Pops is gonna go to this time of the year as far as we're seeing conference football for college, getting into the collegiate football playoffs. I think this is gonna be
Playoffs.
great for college football in years to come to see these teams are battling and really fighting to be getting into that playoff. So loving it. We still got a couple more weeks to it, but that's I think the pops for football, collegiate football coming down to a great ending and just a start of something that's gonna really keep the sport popular and going.
All right. My pop is going to go to Deion Sanders and the
Oh
Colorado
yeah.
Buffaloes for proving me right. I said they would win at least 7 games at the beginning of the season. I did put it on wax,
Mm-hmm.
and they've already won 9 games. They're going to be in a meaningful bowl.
Yep.
Don't look like they'll make it to the bowl playoffs, but the
Unfortunately.
turnaround
But
year over year has been extraordinary, and I thank them for that. So I give them my pop of the week. Who you flopping, son? Who you flopping?
flops is going to be Bears. The time management, they had a chance to win that Thanksgiving game, and they literally fumbled the bag. That's just poor time management, poor coaching on that end in the game where you could be the division rival and be the reason why Detroit, has another loss on their record, but couldn't get it done. That's a flop for the Bears.
Man, we're on the same page. A little different paragraph because my flop is to the front office of the Chicago Bears and GM Ryan Poles for you knew that dude was a lame Matt Eberflus was a lame duck coach. You knew that your rookie quarterback needed a clean slate and needed a regime that was going to be there at least 2 to 3 years so he can build on that. Now he's got to learn something new all
Completely
over
different.
again. New coach, probably more than likely D how things have played out even after the fact. Probably gonna have a new GM. You might even have a new, I don't know if you have a new president, CEO, Kevin Warren, but you're probably gonna have a new GM because most times you have a GM and coach that are married together and they put together the team. I guess if you're trying to keep some continuity there, you go ahead and keep Ryan Poles at least 1 to 2 more years, see if he can find a better coach who can develop Caleb. But my flop is, yeah, to the front office of the Chicago Bears for not making this move a year ago and setting things up for Caleb this year. Who you propping, son? Who you propping?
Props are going to go to the Detroit Lions for becoming 11-1. Man, they really turned around. Dan Campbell, they got some good
Man,
pieces. They've actually, with Aiden Hutchinson not being there, they're actually playing even better.
defense, yeah.
On defense, too, as well. They have a real great shot of making a Super Bowl appearance. So I'm giving props to the Detroit Lions.
I'm gonna keep it in the same state. I give my props to the Michigan alum for keeping your homegrown talent, Bryce Underwood,
Homegrown.
right there in the state. Put your money
Homegrown.
where your mouth is.
Mm-hmm.
College teams, you want a good team, put together a group of people, want to have the money and the resources to keep key players.
Mm-hmm.
Do it, make it happen. So props to the Michigan alum for keeping Bryce Underwood in the state. All right, son, it's that time of the podcast where we get to tell someone to sit
Sit
your
your
ass
ass down.
down.
Man,
Hey, sit your ass down,
down,
please.
please, and
And thank
thank
you.
you.
Who you telling?
Sit your ass down, man. It should be no surprise. Matt Eberflus, sit your ass down. I don't really think you embodied what Chicago needs. You said it before, the perfect man for that job was Jim Harbaugh, who's out there in LA with the Chargers. But the epitome of the Chicago, you need a blue collar, someone who's gritty, someone who's willing to fight, someone who's going to get the players riled up. And I don't think the coaching staff really just embody what that organization really needs. They got a new quarterback. They got the weapons. Like you said, they should have just cleaned the slate with just a new coach, a fresh coach. You could have made a little push for even Cliff Kingsbury, who's had some coaching.
Mm-hmm.
Find someone who's the similar style or coach the style similar to how your quarterback is used to playing. So it's a little bit more easier for him to get adjusted into the NFL. But Matt Eberflus, you're going to have to sit your ass down.
I'm on a similar path as you, son. Mine is to Chicago Bears ownership, to the GM Ryan Poles, and president and CEO Kevin Warren. Sit your ass down for not standing up and doing what your organization needed to do before the season even started. They've prided themselves in never having fired a coach in the middle of the season. They could have avoided that this year if you would have just hired the right coach a year ago. And the thing about it is now you've stunted the growth of your number one quarterback, your number one pick, your rookie QB quarterback, because now again he's going to start all the way over. And the thing, the icing on top of the cake, I foreshadowed this earlier. They allowed Matt Eberflus to speak to the media prior to them firing the man. He spoke to the media about his future plans. He said he's getting ready for San Francisco's game next week. They'll put together a plan, and hopefully it'll be a successful plan. He plans to be with the team. And about an hour or so later, the man's fired. You can't even fire the man right. You let him go out there as a literal lame duck coach, put himself out there, and then you turn around and then you fire the man. Come on, Chicago Bears ownership, front office, and sit your asses down. Get this right. But you continue to show year after year you're not a team to be taken seriously, or organization, should I say, to be taken seriously. You keep making these crazy moves. You should have kept Justin Fields, quite frankly.
Yeah.
The dude is talent. He didn't have good coaching. You didn't let him thrive under a good coach. Harbaugh definitely would have been Jim. Harbaugh would have definitely been the best fit for him. Hell, I would have even given Bill Belichick a shot to
why not?
come in and build some culture
defense
and turn that damn whole organization around. But you didn't want to give up the keys to the kingdom to someone who knows what they're doing. That's one thing he can do. He can create culture, and he can set up a winning organization, set them up for success. You had a couple different options, and you bypassed them all to keep a lame duck coach who you fired today. Sit your asses down. Woo! All right, son, man. We went through a lot of good stuff today.
A lot of good stuff.
I apologize, folks, if you wanted to hear some college basketball or some NBA. We got plenty of time for that. Got plenty of time for that.
Only an hour show.
Only an hour show, and we're only on once a week. But again, this is heart of football season right now. Get into the NFL playoffs, what leads up to that. As you mentioned, in college, you got conference championships, and you got the playoffs getting ready to get started. We're in a good time of year for football. So, hey, basketball fans, we'll be coming with it.
Oh, yeah.
Like I said, we got plenty more time
Just
for
wait
that.
on it. It's on there.
It will be coming soon. All right, son. Man, a lot of good stuff as usual. And as we always say, we thank you all for listening to the Me and D
Pops and Son
podcast.
For that ass. Don't forget your merch, man. Don't forget your merch.
Forget your merch. For that ass. Real quick shout out. Happy birthday, Miss Ashley Johnson.
Yeah.
Your sister, my baby girl. Happy birthday tomorrow.
Happy birthday, sis.
November
Happy birthday
30th.
On the 30th.
Yes, sir. And as you said, don't forget that merch.
Don't forget that merch. Please don't.
Indeed, tell them until next time.
But until next time.
What?
I'ma holler. We gonna holler.
We gonna holler, as we always do. Coming up on season 3, next couple of weeks.
Let's get it.